EV space, what is the thing that you're looking into or that you're hearing more about? I guess I've got to get to the question, but tell us a little bit about what you see in that marriage of hardware, software, and where is it going? What do you think? And what are you doing to be a part of it?
Yes, I'll start. I think in the EV industry, we have the potential to change transportation forever, not just from a combustion engine to an electric vehicle, but I think transportation, the paradigm of how we transport humans is going to change here in the next couple of years. And really, there's 4 technologies that are driving that change. The biggest one, which you mentioned, and you might, the buzzword in the industry now is plug and charge. Internally, we call that autonomous authorization. So vehicles being able to authorize themselves without human interaction, that's one of the 4 technologies that is really driving this change forward. You also have stuff like vehicle reliability. So one of the best parts about EVs, many of you guys are EV drivers and probably know this already, is they don't need repairs as often as their predecessors. And that really lends itself not only to personal drivers, but when you get into corporate fleets and business fleets, that's incredibly important. And then you have battery technology is increasing day in and day out. So batteries are getting more dense, and that requires a smaller footprint to go farther. So it's, over the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see electric vehicles that have 1,000+ mile range. It's just going to happen. And then last but not least, I think Kyle alluded to it earlier, is just AI and autonomous driving. And when you take all 4 of those technologies together, the really cool part is my prediction is in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to have this economy where everyday people like you and me don't need a vehicle, right? The cost to drive and the cost per mile for, Uber and, Tesla's robotaxi, when it comes, is going to be so low that I can just pick up an autonomous vehicle. It's going to pick me up my house, bring me to work, bring me home, and it's going to be a couple bucks. It's not going to be, versus today where I have a $500 a month car payment or $400 a month car payment or whatever. You'll have this economy of vehicle where I can just flag down an autonomous vehicle, come pick me up, bring me to where I need to go, bring me home. And that's going to solve a lot of the challenges that we have today, because today your vehicle sits in your driveway most, hours on end, sits at our work parking lot hours on end, and we'll sort of alleviate that immediately, which is pretty cool.
Kyle, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, the topic around having autonomous cars and sort of not owning a vehicle, been talking about this a lot recently on our side as well. I actually was just in California a couple weeks ago, Waymoing everywhere, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. But then I think about, okay, what is the incremental cost difference between Waymowing everywhere, which to be honest was more expensive than Uber, but a better experience. You don't have, some smelly guy driving you around that clearly doesn't know how to drive safely. So, that was interesting. But then I'm like, how much more would I rather spend to just keep my stuff in the car and then to have my car wherever I was? And I go, well, I think there's got to be a mix. I'm certainly, and I think a lot of older generations as well would agree, it's nice to have your own vehicle. Like, that is something I want. As a car enthusiast, I love it. I don't like the idea of just having autonomous cars everywhere that I don't own. And yeah, I mean, these are the topics, along with anything, happy to talk about charging performance as well. I think that's a huge topic that we've been covering, maybe even too closely the last few years. But essentially what we've learned on our side is there's clearly no single solution that's going to work for everyone. And the point about a spec and what, I try to work on every day is, okay, find the coolest stuff out there, and then go show that. And then there will definitely be a group of people that are interested, and probably an even larger group of people who aren't interested. And the funny thing about YouTube is the video does kind of get shared around to everyone, whether or not they're interested or not. And I get to hear all the raw feedback because people are behind a screen. They don't mind sharing how they really feel. And we get to see truly what people think about this stuff. And I was surprised at how many people hated the idea of rideshare autonomous cars. I'm like, damn, that kind of sounds cool. I want to try that out and look into it. But that was interesting. And same on charging performance. I'm always like, let's get megawatt level charging. I want to charge for 3 minutes and get out of there. And we have a ton of EV drivers who watch our stuff, and they're like, you know what, a 10, 15 minute break, that's not the end of the world. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So there's definitely like choice. You'll be able to buy the fastest charging cars on the market, and you'll be able to buy slower charging cars, hopefully at a less expensive price, and just spend the money where your priorities lie. So while I'm not necessarily working on the technological solutions, I'm not in the day-to-day, I do think we have a pretty good idea as to what groups of people are looking for certain solutions.